Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we are gonna set up React. Let's create a new HTML file and we are going to name it index.js, and Google Apps Script is going to add .html at the end. But for us it's gonna be a regular JavaScript file. Now let's write a script tag and we are going to log a simple message, and then we are going to add this file into our index.html file. So we are gonna use that require function. Let's open up our console and we'll see the message. It is coming from the index.js file. And now let's log React, because we imported React from a CDN library, so now we will have access to that particular object. Let's refresh our page and we'll see the whole object. We also added React DOM, so we will have access to a React DOM object. And before we start writing React, we have to specify the text bubble type so we can transpile JSX into regular JavaScript. Now let's use the render method from React DOM, and this method is gonna receive JSX and then an HTML selector. We have to make sure to add that particular selector into our index.html file. If we refresh the page, we'll see React DOM, and this is coming from our render method. Now let's create an app component. And this component is going to be a functional component and it will return a basic div. Let's replace our render content with our new component. And in order to import this component into this file, we will have to add it with the include function, but we are going to do it inside our index.html. And this is going to sound a bit confused, but that's how we can access to different components between different files. And make sure to import them in the correct order, because in this case app will be before our index.js. Now let's create a new component so we can put it inside our app. Let's import it globally into our index.html file, and I'm going to use a Materialize navbar. The code will be available on the GitHub repository. Let's add another component. This will be a side nav. We have to include it into the index.html, and then we are going to add it into the app component. Now we'll see two components inside our app, and index.js is rendering that component. Let's change the content, and in order to use this Materialize side nav, we have to initialize it with JavaScript, and that has to be after it is mounted. So we will do that with a React hook called useEffect. We are not going to use a dependency, so we can leave an empty array. And let's paste the Materialize code to initialize this side nav. And now we'll see it's working, because after the component is mounted, useEffect is running that code. And we are triggering our side nav from our navbar. Let's replace our div with a React fragment shortcut. It doesn't affect the code. And that was the React configuration inside Google Apps Script. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.